Hello fellow crafters and welcome back to Max DM Crafting. The concept of dungeon crawler is now rooted in the world of fantasy role-playing, and our dear and old dungeon tiles are the natural consequence of games on the exploration type board. The same hero quest provided for the addition of furniture of the rooms as they progressed on the exploration, and the same monster were revealed to the player when they were in line of sight on the game board. From a game board that, albeit with millions of possibilities, somehow bound the dungeon master to a limited space, thanks to the dungeon tiles, new horizons have opened and the space limits have been definitely demolished. The game system of Dungeon Crawler has been the basis of the video game Diablo since the first edition. The same map revealed to the player the areas explored as you progressed through the various levels. The biggest difference of the Diablo dungeon compared to a classic Dungeon Crawler, however, is the play area. While in classic dungeons the master reveals one room at a time, one corridor at a time, think about that. Even if these can be very large, they are revealed entirely to the player once placed on the table. In a Diablo dungeon, the areas are always very large, revealed with the so-called ray technique. That is, everything that surrounds the character's light zone is acquired from the map and therefore by the player. So how will it be possible to recreate that same gameplay even on a table? The solution is quite simple, even if it requires some precautions from the DM. It involves using battle mats, or large boards with the classic 1-inch grid, and taking advantage of the player's range of action. However, this causes some problems in the management of the game by the dungeon master. Let's take an example, extremely simplified. If a player can see around him for an area of 9 square inches, this means that as he moves, the DM will have to, in real time, reveal obstacles and enemies that gradually enter the player's sight range. This is done in real time by the computer in the Diablo game, but on the game board, the DM would really have to sweat it out if he wanted to insert walls, rooms, and enemies as the player progresses. However, I like the idea of keeping the dungeon large, and I really want to recreate the Diablo play style. So here's how I projected that same feeling onto my game board. First of all, the difference is that the rooms and corridors are distributed around large areas. This allows me to show the players the presence of a certain room within a macro area and to reveal its contents only once the door is open, just like in a good old hero quest. Anyway, the rooms you see in this video are those of Clever Paper. Watch the suggested video where I unbox their dungeon set. These macro areas will be made available immediately to the player at the level of walls, rooms and furniture, while the monsters will be displayed only where in the higher line with the player there are no obstacles that obstruct their view. The macro areas could be represented by the entire battle mat, or be limited by walls or doors called key doors. When these doors are opened, the dungeon master will reveal the next macro area and so on. This game system clears the way for the skirmish mode, where the clash between small groups is of primary importance with respect to exploratory aspect. It is as if, within the macro areas, one switches to a kill team or Necromunda style game mode, if I give the idea. The thing that I found fantastic is to alternate the real dungeon crawler, where the atmosphere is decidedly more claustrophobic, with these large areas of more intense combat. The effect for the players was a great variety of the game, and believe me, being suddenly inside such vast and open environments really gave a breath of fresh air to the dynamics of the game. Imagine an narrow and convoluted passage through the basement of a castle, rooms and corridors as in the most classic of dungeon crawlers. Then, at the opening of yet another door, instead of being in a simple room, the player finds himself in an entire level open. Absolutely unexpected and great. I have no idea if there are already mixed game systems like the one I described here. If so, put their name in the description box below so I can take a look. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Share the Max DM Crafting channel with your friends, and remember that your support is very important. You can follow all my work in progress and have access to exclusive content on Patreon. Find the link in the description box below. Or you can support me by offering me a coffee on PayPal. Also, in this case, you can find the link in the description. The materials listed below are all Amazon affiliate links. If you need some material, buying through those links, you will only help the channel at no cost to you. Take a look, okay? Till next time, happy crafting!